Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Schaefer. I'm the president of the Democratic Women Club of Greater Broward. I have the pleasure this afternoon to speak with Jacqueline Guzman. She's one of the candidates for City of Sunrise Commission, I believe CD. She's a candidate for
Yeah.
CD. And actually Sunrise is one of the cities in the area that our club is involved with. It's Plantation, Lauderhill, Lauderdale Lakes, Sunrise, that area. So I definitely want to encourage the people that live in that area to hear what she has to say. And she's going to tell you why you should vote for her on November the 3rd. Well, actually, we want to encourage everyone to early vote. And I believe early voting starts, I believe, October 24th, maybe. I'll double check.
October 19th.
October 19th. See, that's even better, right? So it starts October 19th for early voting. We're really encouraging everyone to early vote so you don't have to wait until the last minute of November 3rd to vote. So November 3rd is the last day we want you to vote, but we'd like for encourage everyone to do early voting. If you're going to do vote by mail, make sure you send it out very early in order for you to track and make sure that your vote counted. If not, just really participate in early voting because you have more flexibility in where it is that you can vote. All right, so I gave that spiel, and we're also going to have her tell everybody about why it's important for them to complete their census. But before we get into all that, she's going to introduce herself, and we're going to start talking. Again, Sandra Schaefer at Democratic Women's Club, and Jacqueline Guzman is going to tell you some things about her and why you should vote for her.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. And thank you for pronouncing my name the correct way. Most people say Guzman, but I'm Latina, so it's Guzman, so thank you. So yes, I am Jacqueline Guzman. I'm running for Sunrise Commissioner, CD. And the reason why you should vote for me is because I'm a mom who's been very active in the community. I have my children involved. I'm involved in PTO at West Pine Middle School. I'm the president for PTO. I coach for the city as well. I've been involved in the local government. I've attended a few of their programs, and so I really feel like I've been very connected, and I'm ready to kind of jumpstart helping you guys at a higher capacity than what I've already been doing in the community. But yeah, I really hope to have your support. And I will mention to you that the unions for Sunrise, the Fraternal Order Police, the Fire Rescue Union of Sunrise, and as well as the General Employee Union is endorsing me. And I'm thankful to have their support as well as the residents here in the city. So yes, I hope to have your support as well.
Alrighty. So we talked a little bit before, and I like I said, the last year or so, I've been speaking with a lot of the candidates, some of the women that are running, and I'm just like, wow, you really you have to put yourself out there to do that. What is it that made you decide to run for this seat?
It's so crazy because I've never been into politics in the way that I've been over the past 6 months. My main goal and focus running for Sunrise was because I really wanted to help the community like I've been doing. So I had quite a few other friends in the city that encouraged me to do it because they felt that I was already helping the residents and they knew that I could help them a lot more at that level. And so I really thought about it. Someone said something 2 years ago, and then they said it again earlier in the year. And I'm like, okay, let me talk to my husband. I spoke with my children because I knew it was going to be a huge commitment for all of us, not just me. And so sure enough, I walked in that day and I got the packet, and it's been 6 months, and oh my, it has been quite the ride. But I'm happy.
Yeah, so I mean, I know COVID makes life a little bit differently, right? So, and I'm not sure if you have an opportunity to speak to people face to face, but what types of things do you see that the residents of Sunrise are looking for to see happen, and what can you do as a commissioner for them?
Sure, there's a few things. Everyone has different needs, so you're going to get highs and you're going to get lows. So I've had everything from the water bill, permitting and how long it takes to get that complete, from whether it's commercial or residential. I've had others who've had issues with speeding and needing speed bumps or traffic calming devices, what they call it. Even our schools, sometimes our schools aren't recognized the way they should be because we've come a long way. And I'm very happy where, for instance, West Pine and some of our other elementary schools are that other cities aren't. And I really want to be able to help to get that word out, especially with that area, given that I'm really involved in being a mom and having kids in school here in Sunrise. But overall, just, I mean, me just being able to help and represent, not so much as a Latina, but also as a woman. We haven't had a woman in commission in over 10 years. And I've heard a lot of people in the community saying that they want someone to represent them. They also want someone who's going to be genuine and passionate about the people and not so much the politics side. And I think that's what I bring to the table is I am very genuine. And when I say I want to help everyone, I mean 100%. And I feel bad if I can't help that one person. So that's really where my heart is. And I'm hoping and praying that I can help everyone when I'm a commissioner.
Do you have any priorities, any things that you specifically said, you know what, I see that this is a serious need for most of the people there, and it's something that you want to work on or try to get the other commissioners on board to do for the residents of Sunrise?
Actually, before COVID, I've already been kind of gearing towards wanting a youth center in our city. We have a senior center, which is very good, and I'm proud that our city has focused with programs to help our senior citizens because we have a large community. But I also feel that we could also have something similar focused on our young adults, whether it's middle school, high school, and 2021, those who are getting into their life and needing some help to get started. But so yeah, now that COVID has happened, I really feel that the programs I want to have in the youth center would be very beneficial because a lot of people this year are going to be behind with school. Just having, even with parents having to work and leaving their children home, being able to have a youth center would allow parents to feel that their children are somewhere safe and they're also being productive because we'll have classes, entrepreneurship, peer tutoring. I'm also really big into volunteering. Myself and my family have been volunteering for years. And I even started something called Panthers with a Purpose at West Pine Middle School, where our students get to volunteer in the community. And so I want to bring that into the youth center on a larger scale for all of the students. So there's been quite a few things that I feel would be very beneficial for the city, for all of our residents with the children, and keeping them off the streets. That's always a plus for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And I definitely think that's a great idea. I live in the city of Miramar, and my son plays basketball with one of the youth center, the Police Athletic League. They're connected with the youth center. It's a community center, but they have all the youth sports there and different things, right? And we have a couple. I think Miramar has like maybe 5 different centers that, does sports and all different types of things. And they have a youth enrichment center that's in Miramar East. And I think that's a very important thing, and it makes a huge difference, right? Because it's harder and harder to keep the children busy. And I'm telling you, by the time they get out of school, he plays his sports, does his homework, he's tired, it's time to go to sleep, and you don't have to worry about them, possibly, like you said, getting into trouble. So that definitely would be an added asset. And I know your city is one of the ones where the East is maybe a little bit different from the West. My city is also like that. And so if we're able to do something like that, would you focus on a specific area, or is it something that you would want to have both communities come together and participate in?
Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of people who are familiar with Sunrise usually see it's not broken down into 2, where it's like an East or West. We actually have 3 parts of Sunrise because we're so big. We have East, Central, and West. And for me, I want this to be centrally located where all of our students can get the help, not just, families on the East side, because families on the West side have the same problems that other kids do. So I really think that I don't want to focus on one area because I want to be able to help everyone.
Yes. And I have to tell you, I did have an office on Sunrise. My office was on it was on 59th and Sunrise Boulevard at the Sunrise Professional Center. There's like a little store right over there. I can't remember what the street is. My God. So I can't think of the name right now. I'm just having like brain freeze. I've been teaching all day and my brain is like jello. Yes, I was definitely had an office in Sunrise for a very long time, and then I moved into Lauderdale, so I'm very invested. I had an office there from 2007 to 2019. So
and what, if you don't mind me asking, what made you move to a different city?
So I went into Lauderhill. It was because I was sharing space with someone, and then at
Okay.
a very last minute, the person decided to like, oh no, they
Mhm.
had a family emergency. So I'm not blaming them for that, but they
Yeah.
had a situation. I didn't need all of this space, so it wasn't something that I could take over. And I had another friend that had space in Lauderhill, so I went and I shared the space in Lauderhill. But I definitely like the area, and I was there for like a very long time in that building for a long
Yeah.
time. And I hated to go because once and that's one thing with small businesses, like once you have your location, the
Established.
location is very important, right? So when you
Mhm.
have to leave, it's like you can lose business. And part of
Yeah.
that is because I have like most of my clients are Haitian. They won't know your address. Like half the time they don't remember your number, but they know where you are. And they're like, and they'll
Yeah.
go to the office
Yeah.
expecting you to be there. So yeah, I definitely miss being in Sunrise. And I was there like almost every day for a very long time.
Wow.
All right, so your priorities wanting the youth center, I think that's an excellent idea. One of the things, COVID has really changed our lives in so many ways, right? And one of the things is that people are gonna run into some housing issues. I know that there's a moratorium on evictions, but that still doesn't mean that at some point that I don't know what's going to give. Is there anything you know that the city of Sunrise has planned in order to be able to provide some sort of assistance for renters? I know homeowners are probably going to have to deal with their banks, but maybe they're going to need like some support. Do you know if that's anything that
Yeah.
you might be able to do, or if the city of Sunrise can do for the residents there?
So as far as housing and rental assistance, yes, Sunrise has opened up a window, and it was advertised for any families in need of rental assistance to apply. So as of right now, a lot of families have been receiving the help. They've already gotten help, or they're getting help. So Sunrise is definitely on that path of helping those who need it.
Okay.
And as far as me and housing, affordable housing, I'm a huge supporter. And I'll tell you why. Just recently I got married last year. But for the past 10 years, I've been a single mom. So I know financially, you get stuck in situations that you don't foresee. And, you can be educated and have a great job, and then anything can happen. So it really is nice to live in a city where there's support. And for me, knowing what people go through, being the working class citizen, I really feel I'll be able to help people a lot more.
And then you can also relate to that. And I know a lot of times people are talking about diversity, and they always think that, oh, that just means black, or that just means
Mhm.
female. No, diversity is more than that, right? It's diversity in experience and what you can bring,
Yes.
and being also relatable. It's like, sometimes you see these things and it's only one type of person that's represented. You need diversity of socioeconomic status. And I'm sure it's probably expensive to run, and it's time consuming. And if you especially particularly if you don't have volunteers, but
Yeah.
the cost of it shouldn't keep all different types of folks from being able to participate in the process. And what's your thoughts on that? And is that something that you would want to speak on?
Yeah, no, you're hitting everything right on the nail. Yeah, it's true. As far as me running and bringing something different to the table, you know, I will say I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, this big financial person, but I do have 20 years of healthcare experience. I have experience in mental health and substance abuse, addictions. So for me, the relatable part is right there. My compassion, I feel, is big enough to know what's right and wrong and what's good for the community. And that's truly my main focus, without any agenda. And I really want people to know that when they're coming to me, what you see is what you get. Like, this is me 100%. I'm very honest, very transparent, and I'm very open-minded. So I'm not gonna immediately go one way, go the other. I like to listen to people and make a concrete decision in the end based on, again, what I believe is right.
Yes, and I think in the skill sets that you just mentioned are also extremely important, right? It's particularly with healthcare. We have a lot of people who are uninsured, and they have issues that they're facing, and
Mhm.
then we have so many folks that have tested positive for COVID, and who knows if that's going to become one of those pre-existing conditions that's going to affect them
Yeah.
with insurance. So that knowledge base that you have, I think, is extremely important. Mental
Yeah.
health is a big issue that we have in South Florida, and you also talk about substance abuse. There's a lot of changes that we're going to see, particularly with people wanting criminal justice reform, right? And that's going to look. We don't know what that's going to look like. They're all different. There's a spectrum of what people want it to look like. But I know one of the things that a lot of folks are concerned about is how they're dealing with addiction and how they're dealing with the mental health population. So having that skill set, you know, I believe will be extremely important, especially in this push to have some level of reform. How do you think the commission can bring that skill set and maybe deal with, you guys have your own police department. I'm not sure if you deal with BSO, but again, with law enforcement, their policing is going to have to figure out how to deal with substance abuse in the mental health population. How do you think your skill set can assist in any way with bringing those two communities together?
Great question. So our community policing is very hands-on in the community. And we had a conversation on a different forum where I did mention that with reform, I believe that having an experienced social worker to accompany an officer on certain non-law enforcement, you know, calls, that it would be very beneficial for everyone, the police officer, the civilian, to make sure that everyone's getting the help, the resources that they need without it resulting in, you know, death, you know, like a lot of situations have happened. So I do know that the police department has a lot of training, a lot of cultural sensitivity training, which is very important. And I'm happy to know that we've already been doing that in our city. But I will say that if there's something that's not being done and it could be done, I know that Sunrise will be right there to be the first one to get started, if not jump on and make sure that everyone is safe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Another issue that happens that I think is big in South Florida is public transportation, right? When I was growing up, I used to have to get on the bus, and Lord, I'm telling you, in Miami, if you miss a bus, you're going to be standing there for another hour, right? Fortunately, by the time I was in Sunrise, I didn't have to take the bus, but I used to have clients that would have to take the bus to my office. I think the bus that runs on Sunrise Boulevard is the 36. You may or may not know that. And they dropped them off there, but they used to have to wait an hour to get it. Is there anything the commission can do about public transportation, or are there things that are already happening? And if they are, do you plan on building on that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really big on public transportation. That's actually one of my points as well in my campaign. But as far as the future, I know that our city is already in the working plans for a transportation hub, to where, you know, we can have transportation connecting to popular city places in our city, the BB&T Center, the parks, you know, anything that where it's very high traffic will have that availability. And it also helps with less commute as far as, you know, population and then pollution. So Sunrise is already working in that area, so it definitely will be happening soon.
Yes, definitely. And my office was near Sunset Strip. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
Okay.
Yes, I was on Sunrise Boulevard right off Sunset Strip. I was like, why can't I think of the name? Yeah, so it was right there for like a really long time. And like I said, at least there was a bus that was there, and sometimes they would take it from the Lauderhill Mall, or from there was a Tri-Rail station on Brow Boulevard somewhere that they would find a way to get there. So I know that it's there, but it's like it definitely can be improved, because sometimes if they miss the bus, it would take more time for them to come.
So your office was near what is it, Mama's Kitchen, the Jamaican restaurant, right?
Neighborhood supermarket, like we.
Okay, yeah.
Right
there. Okay. I was just there about an hour or two ago before I spoke to you. That's where I was coming from.
Yeah, so it was right over there. And like I said, I was there for like a really long time. We talked about policing. So Sunrise is one of those. They don't have a contract with BSO, and they have their own police department. Is that something that you anticipate them staying, or or would you recommend or encourage them to move towards contracting with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
I think the city is doing well just the way it is right now. Definitely.
Okay. And so COVID again has presented us with a whole bunch of problems. One of the things is that some of the cities are going to run into issues in terms of budgeting, because of, like, you know, I know I'm not spending money as much on groceries and maybe the electric, but I'm not going to buy clothes. I'm not shopping anymore. And sometimes a lot of those taxes impact, you know, revenue for the cities. How is it that you would recommend, or how do you see the city moving forward, given the fact that they may run into a financial crunch just because of, you know, the situation that we're having just because of COVID?
Of course. I will say Sunrise has been very supportive with our small businesses here. So they've been coming to Sunrise, and when they need something, if Sunrise can help them in that area, they've been doing it. Even opening up the restaurant, have capacity, bring dining outside the restaurant so they can get their income. So they've been very innovative on different ways to make sure the revenue is still there. But for me, when I'm elected, I definitely want to be able to be more hands-on, help them with promoting, marketing, making sure that our residents are eating and shopping local, which is very important, to make sure that, you know, they're spending their money in their city where they live in, because it's important that they do that. And I think it's important for us as a city to make sure that our residents know that that's important to do.
And how could you get people to come visit Sunrise, right? Because like I went to Sunrise to work, and I did, you know, there were a bunch of restaurants there, so I would eat there. But outside of that, like, I mean, I just didn't go to Sunrise to do, well, I shouldn't say that, because I would go to some events at the BB&T Center, but I can count the times that I went to Galleria Mall. So how is it that you can encourage people for Sunrise to be the place for them to come to shop and eat and do all of those things?
I think social media is great, and I've been doing social media, even promoting local businesses, and I've been doing car parades, so letting our residents know to come join a parade and then shop here, eat here in that plaza where we end the parade. So I really think it's about promoting and using social media as much as they can. I will say Sunrise has the chamber, and they have their own social media presence. We do have the policing social media. Sunrise government has their own Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So they're very active in all of that. But I will say they probably could do a little more in promoting our businesses and dining for sure. And, you know, I would love to do that. So yeah, definitely.
And so I'm going to ask, this is probably one of the things that I typically don't ask, but like I said, I have a bunch of Haitian, a lot of my clientele is Haitian, and most of them tend to live in Sunrise East. How is it that and I don't know if they feel as though they're part of the city of Sunrise. I know they live there because they can afford to live there, but in terms of engagement, like what is it they're doing? Is there anything that Sunrise have, or that you would promote, that's multicultural, that can engage that community? And I don't think they have a really big social media presence. Some of them do, but you know, most Haitians get their information from, like, especially that particular group, from like the radio or something like that. So is there any way to bridge the gap or engage that segment of Sunrise?
Definitely. So I know that over the past couple of years, we've had proclamations for our Caribbean families and the culture. And then we've also put together multicultural events. I think it's once or twice a year that we have one. There's one coming up soon, and we're kind of disappointed because they wanted to utilize a brand new park that's down Sunset Strip. And I don't think they're going to be able to because of COVID. So there are plans for a farmer's market. They're revitalizing some of the older plazas and redoing it to where it's more appealing, and you can shop and eat and have that dining the way the West Side, I guess, has, if you will. But yeah, they've done a lot. I have to say Commissioner Sofield has done a huge amount of work in Sunrise and East Sunrise with redoing our streets and putting up trees. And I mean, what a transformation over the years. And I'm very proud to know that when I'm elected, I'm taking over his seat, and I plan to continue helping the East Side the way Larry Sofield did.
Right. And I know, and you guys have the swap shop there too. So, I mean, it's it's a lot going on. Definitely. I know a lot of them, they go there to get their fruits and vegetables from like the different parts of the swap shop. So there's definitely some engagement, but, you know, we just wanted to know like how we could do more and have them more active and participate more in what's going on with the city.
The swap shop is Lauderhill. It's not too far from us, but
it's not in the city. It's not considered.
It's not Sunrise.
It's not Sunrise. Sorry about that.
Sunset meets at Sunrise, and then you go east, and then the swap shop is there, but that's not Sunrise limit.
Oh, okay. So that's not.
But we don't have a farmer's market, and
because that's where they go. That's actually where they go. I know my mother lives in Miami, and she goes to swap shop sometime to buy. So yeah, I didn't realize that wasn't in the city. My apologies for that.
That's okay. Yeah, my mom loves a swap shop, so.
Right on Sunrise Boulevard, so I'm like, it got to be part of it because some of them are further out, and they're in. Yes, so definitely, that's one of the things. So yeah, we got to work on doing something similar because you know the people, even if it's something that's just done on Saturday mornings. Like I said, I live in Miramar, and they used to do it at the hospital. They would take off part of the parking lot and have vendors come in and sell their different products. And there's a Whole Food. I think that's a Pembroke Pines activity, but even even at the Whole Foods parking lot, they would do like a farmer's market on Thursdays and stuff like that. So it's definitely can be done, and people are looking to, for that type of engagement. And once and if it's consistent, you can get folks to participate. So
I will add, for anyone who does have access to the internet and likes to see what those plans are, if they go to sunrisefl.gov and they look up like the plans for Sunrise and the budgeting, there's actually a like a PowerPoint presentation of all of the plans for the East Side and other Central and West Part. So I really encourage anyone to go look at the plans because it is very impressive, and I can't wait to see that happen.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So say that website one more time so we can definitely do it. And I'll put it in the chat too. What is it?
Okay, sunrisefl.gov.
Where that Sunrise?
And there's a number of things. Anything going on in the city, the website is full of information.
Okay.
Sports and any programs, anything is there. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All right. So I put that in the chat for people to take a look and engage in that, because all of it is very important. So if someone wants to contribute to your campaign, if they want to volunteer, how is it that they can get in touch with you in order for them to do that?
Thank you. So they can check out my website, which is www.JacquelineGuzman or they can just look me up on Facebook, which is Jacqueline for Sunrise, the number 4. And feel free to message me. I also, as far as donations go, volunteering is great. I definitely need volunteers, but Cash App, Zelle, any of that, if anyone wants to donate, they can reach out to me, and any amount would be very appreciative.
Absolutely, because it definitely is expensive and time consuming to run, and it's always not about money, right? Because sweat equity is just as valuable, right? You got that time, you want to send messages, text, call, all of those things. All of that is definitely very important, and we encourage people to do that. So tell us, you can do your outro. I'm not going to give you 2 minutes. Tell us why in 1 minute. I'm not going to do that. Tell us why. Tell the folks again. Remind them why they should vote for you for the City of Sunrise Commission CD.
Okay, so the reason why I feel that you should vote for me again is because I've been a Sunrise resident for over 10 years. I know what our city needs. I know what our families need. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have compassion. I work very hard. I'd be working for you, just like the sweat and tears, like you were just mentioning. I'm committed, I'm devoted the way I am to my family. I consider Sunrise my family too, as an extended family. I have the support in the community, and I'm thankful to have that support because I know they believe in me, and I really want you guys to understand that I'm honest and transparent, and this is what you're getting. What you're looking at, this is me 100%. There's nothing behind it. And I'm open to any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. So please reach out to me. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the last thing someone did bring up about environment. Are there any environmental issues that you want the commission on the City of Sunrise to address, or is there other things that are already happening that you want to continue? Because the environment is one of the big things that's going on.
Of course. On the website, there's a section where it's like good and green. And Sunrise is already hands-on when it comes to environmental plans, programs to kind of get the families and residents involved, even children, to want to help the planet. But yeah, they have a tree program, they have a habitat program, they have something called Pass Up the Plastic. So there are a number of ways that you can help to save energy and water, and everything is on the website.
Okay, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today. And again, early voting starts October 19th in Broward, and the last day to vote, the last day is November the 3rd. But tell people, the last thing we should have talked about it before, we're going to talk about it now. Do you know how many people in the City of Sunrise have completed their census already?
I don't have the complete number on who's the range of who has completed it. Okay. I know that the city has people going out every day, knocking on doors for the residents who haven't done it. So yes.
Yes, so we encourage them to complete their census. It doesn't take a long time, and the website is 2020census.gov in order to get that done. And if people are coming out, because I think they have to have it done by the 30th of this month, I believe. Hopefully there'll be some sort of extension or something to that effect. So it's important to do the census. That's how that's how all cities and municipalities get funded. So we definitely want to encourage people to complete the census. So I want you to have the last word, and thank you again for talking to me. So
before you close, if I can just say one more thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been doing all of these different forums, and I want to take a moment to recognize the women who have been behind my team the whole time.
Okay.
I want everyone out there to know that I'm not doing it alone. I have about 6 or 7 women that have been every day in and out, the sweat and tears with me, the highs and lows of the struggles and the successes. And for those of you who are on my team and you're watching, I love you. I'm thankful for you. And even after this, I can't wait to continue building our friendships. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that's definitely it definitely takes a village, and it's extremely important.
Yes. Thank you.
All righty. So shout out, what is it that you're running for again?
All right, Jacqueline Guzman for City of Sunrise, Commissioner Seat D, the only woman running. It's been 10 years, and I want to help to make history by being the first Hispanic woman in the history of Sunrise.